Okay, so good morning, students. Yesterday we have seen one example. Okay, how to write the implementation or how to provide the implementation for handling this particular window event, right? So we have seen like window is a GUI components. So this particular GUI components generates an event called as window event. So how do we write the implementation to handle the events generated by your window GUI component using this Windows listener interface? Okay, we have seen an example. Okay, so how basically we can write the implementation for it. Okay, in today's class, in order to make you more comfortable, I'll try to provide an implementation. How do we handle this mouse event that is being generated by your GUI component mouse? Okay, so that's what basically we'll be looking in today's class. You'll be provided with an example program. How do you handle this particular mouse events? And also we'll be introduced with a concept called as a mouse adapter class. Why should we go for the mouse adapter class? Once we try to understand the purpose of mouse adapter class, then we'll try to understand the concept of inner classes for the same example. So with that particular thing, so just we'll go for the implementation part. Okay, just I'll go open my notepad, open a new file. Okay, so now basically what I'm trying to do is we need to handle the mouse events. We need to handle the mouse events. So I need to develop a GUI application for that. So first of all, I need to create a frame. I need to create a frame. So in which particular package you have the frame class? So we have, okay, in a package, okay, import, okay, java dot awt dot star. In AWT package, we have all the things related to your frame class. Since I'm writing a program to handle your mouse event, all your events are present in a package called import, okay, java dot awt dot event, okay, event dot start. This is a package where all your events are present. So in this particular example, we are going to see how to handle the various mouse events. So now, if you can see this particular slide, whatever I'm showing this particular PPT slide, we are supposed, see, mouse listener is an interface, correct? What is mouse listener? It's an interface. What are the methods that are part of this interface? These are the 5 methods which are part of the interface. That is mouse clicked, mouse pressed, mouse released, mouse entered, exited. These are the methods of this particular interface. Now, whenever we want to provide the implementation details for these particular methods, we need to write our own class. Inside our class, we are supposed to provide the implementation details for this particular interface called as mouse listener. So we need to provide the implementation details for all these particular methods. So in order to provide the implementation details, what we are supposed to do is we are supposed to write our own class. Say, let me consider my own class. What I'm writing is, say for example, class U is my class. Now, since I am providing the implementation for the methods that are part of the interface, which keyword I should use? I should use a keyword called as what? Implements. So which interface I'm trying to for which particular interface I'm trying to provide the implementation? It is nothing but your mouse listener. Mouse listener is the interface, so implements mouse interface. Now in this particular class, whatever I'm going to write, I need to provide the implementation details for all the methods that are part of this mouse listener interface. So what is the first one? So it is public, okay, void. What is the first method basically we need to provide implementation for? It is mouse clicked. This is the method what I have. So which is the event I need to handle? The event which I want to handle is nothing but mouse event. See, this mouse event is inbuilt. So this is a reference for this particular inbuilt event class. Suppose R I am using. Okay, so now I'm going to write a simple message to make you understand, to make the program simple. Okay, just I'm going to display some message. Say system dot, say out dot, say for example, print ln. Okay, print ln. So basically what I'm going to print, I want to print a message to the user telling that when you click on a mouse, it should display as mouse clicked. Okay, so I write mouse, say for example, mouse clicked. Okay, now, so now what exactly I want here is, I want to display its position also, where the mouse is being clicked. That is the width and height where the mouse was clicked on the frame. That position also I want to display. So with that concern, what I'll be doing is, I'll try to do is, I'm going to add. So what is the reference variable? This mouse event is there, R. So what I'm going to do is, this R dot, we have a method called as, to get the x coordinate, we can use this getx method to get the x coordinate. Okay, now after that I want comma. So how do I write comma? So plus symbol. Okay, I want comma here, so within the double quotes. Okay, next I need to display the, after this particular comma, this is comma I want, this is comma I want. Okay, so now after that I want to display the y coordinate. So how do I display? This is a concatenation operator. So what is the mouse event? R dot. So what is the method I need to use? It is get y method. Yes or no? Get y method gives me the height component, height of your window, where that window component is generating. Okay, so now what I want to display after that is, say for example, I want the closing bracket to be displayed. So that's the reason I'm opening double quotes, and I want the closing bracket to display, close this particular double quotes and close this inner this one. Right? So the message should be displayed as mouse clicked. Inside that I want the x coordinate, comma, y coordinate I want to display. So this is what the code basically I have written for this. Similarly, I need to provide the implementation for all the 5 methods. So control C, control V I'll do. So which is the second method? It is mouse pressed. Mouse pressed I need to provide the implementation, pressed. Okay, so here also for my reference I'm going to write same thing, pressed. Okay, mouse pressed, and here also it should display me the x and y coordinates where the mouse was being pressed. And similarly, so next method I'm going to provide, so which is the next method we need to provide, say for example mouse released. Okay, released. Okay, mouse released, and for my reference again I'm going to change here the message as mouse released. Okay, so similarly I need to provide the implementation for another method, that is mouse entered. Okay, whenever your mouse is going to enter into the frame, okay, it should display the appropriate mouse entered. So what I'm going to do here, okay, entered. Okay, similarly I want to give implementation for another method, that is on mouse exit. Okay, exited, mouse exited. Okay, mouse exited. Here for my reference I'm going to provide exited, mouse exited. Okay, so now what I've done is I provide implementation for all the methods, one method, a second method, third, fourth, 5 methods. 5 methods are part of this particular interface. So I have written a class which provides implementation for all those particular classes. Yes or no? I have provided a implementation for all the methods which are part of that particular interface. Now the question is, I want to design a GUI component using which I need to demonstrate this particular mouse events. So what basically we'll be trying to do is, we are going to use a class. Okay, I'm going to define my own class which acts as a frame class. So let me consider G is my class. Okay, it should extend, because this user defined class should act as a frame class. That's the reason I'm using extends keyword, extends. Okay, extends which inbuilt class, frame is an inbuilt class, right? So now in this particular thing I'm going to define my own constructor. What is the constructor of this particular class? G, inside which I'm going to define the various properties for this particular frame. I'm going to define the various properties for this particular frame, and finally I'm going to close my user defined class, that is frame. So now as we know that how do we define the various properties for this particular frame is, just I'm going to copy this particular code what already yesterday we have written. Okay, so control C, I'll go back here. Okay, so now I'll go back to your code. Okay, so where was the code? Stop share. Okay, where is your notepad? Where is your notepad? Okay, so I'll go back here. So now which was the program basically we had here? So what control V, I'm going to do it here. right? So now, say for example, this dot set visible is equal to true, and this dot set size is equal to true. So all this particular stuff I have written. So, okay, all this particular stuff I have written. Now, once I have written this, I want to execute this particular program. So I'm going to define my own the main method. So I'll write one more class. Say for example, class. Suppose say I have a class. Suppose say name of a class is say I'll give it as n. Okay, class n, and I'm going to write my main method, that is public static, okay, void main. Okay, public static void main string string args. Okay, so now I need to create an object. I need to create an object for which one? Can anybody tell me I need to create for object for which class? This particular class I need to create an object. So how do I create an object? How do I create an object? That is g and some reference variable. Let me tell j is equal to new, say for example g. This is how I create an object for this particular class. Okay, so listen here. Control is control. Say for example, I'll tell non, because maybe this n may be already existing. Control s. Okay, I'll write non dot, say for example Java, non dot Java. Okay, so let me run this particular program. Let me run this particular program. Okay, here Java, say non dot, say for example Java. So I need to use Java C non dot, okay, Java. Okay, you're getting some error as I have not given semicolon here. So go back to your program, and give the semicolon here. Okay, it was missing. Say this particular program, go back and let us try to execute this. The same command. Okay, compilation. Okay, compile. So let us try to run this. Okay, Java. Okay, non. You can see that you got a frame. Means now your frame is static. Whatever the frame we have designed is static. It is not, say for example, active. It is not performing any operation. See here you have designed a static frame. Now how to make see, whenever my mouse has entered into the frame, or my mouse goes out of the frame, or when I say for example click on this particular, see I'm clicking on this particular thing, so nothing, it is not, basically nobody is able to handle this particular events. Even though events are generating, see when I click on this particular screen, events are getting generated. See when I take my mouse out of this particular screen, events are generating, but nobody is there to handle this particular events. So now how can we make our program to handle this particular event is, just we have to go here, so we need to add something here. So where should we add something here? We need to register. We need to see, we have written a listener class which listens, which is able to handle the events. But this listener class, whatever we have written, we have to register this particular listener class with this particular frame. So how do we register the listener class with this particular frame? Is, how do you refer to this frame? This, using a this. So how do you register? You need to use a keyword add. Which listener you are supposed to handle? It is mouse listener. Mouse listener, you are supposed to add mouse listener, and mouse listener is being implemented using this which class, which is a different class. So for that class I need to create an object. For this class I need to create an object. So how do we create an object? It is new of which one? New of which class? Okay, so this particular thing. So what I should do is I should close this and add mouse listener off. Okay, so I need to, this is basically the object creation, right? So close this. So now what I have done is I have registered this particular listener class with your frame class. Now let me save this. Okay, let me save this and execute once again. So I'll go back here. Okay, so I'll press, I come out of this, Control C, and press this here and Control C. Okay, so let us once again compile a program. Let us run this particular, see here. Now, since I have added, see, once mouse has entered, see you're getting here, see the prompt properly and see the output. See when I take my mouse out of the window, see what you're going to get, say I am taken mouse out. So I have taken mouse in. They have taken mouse out. See the pattern. See what is that you're getting? Mouse entered, mouse exited. Mouse entered, mouse exited. See here? As soon as I enter, I make my mouse point towards the window, you're getting this. So when I click on this, let me click on this. See? Click. See? I pressed. See, I pressed. I holded the mouse button and I pressed on the window. See, it is telling that it is being pressed that uh, the width is 335 and height is 326. See here? I've released it. Click, release, click, release. See? All those particular mouse when I were entered, I exited. See, now I'm able to handle this particular mouse event. See, I'm able to handle this particular mouse event. See, entered, exited, click, release. See, when I press, see, I pressed, see, released, pressed, released, right? See, so this is how basically I'm able to handle this particular events, right? So we are able to handle the events. So this is a small example to illustrate how basically you can write your program to handle the various events. Now this is a program that illustrates or tells you how to handle your mouse events. Okay, how to handle your mouse events. Okay, so this is a small example I have shown. Now what I'll be doing is, now whether you're going to make use of all these methods or not, okay, whether you're going to make use of all these particular methods or not, still you are whenever you're going to tell that I'm going to provide implementation for methods of mouse listener, your class, whether you require or not, you need to provide implementation for all the methods. Suppose there may be a situation that you may tell that, Madam, I don't want to provide implementation for, say, for example, these two methods. Only I want to, when I enter and uh, when I exit, only those two methods I want. I want the service. I'm expecting the service of these two methods. I don't want the service provided by these three methods. Now, if you don't want the service provided by these particular methods, since if you are using an interface, whether you require or not require, you should provide the implementation. Now, suppose if I'm expecting service only from few methods and I don't want the service from other methods. Okay, then why should I provide unnecessary implementation for other methods, right? So these three methods implementation I don't want to provide. Okay, so in order to overcome that, we can make use of a concept called as adapter classes. For each and every GUI component, we have a respective adapter component that are available. So basically, you can have a look at this particular slide. So these are nothing but the adapter classes and the listener interface. See, which is the listener interface we are discussing in today's class? That is a mouse listener. For this mouse listener, if at all you want to avoid providing unnecessary implementation for the methods from whom you are not expecting any services, then you can make use of this mouse adapter. So let us now just try to modify the same program and see how can we implement this. So whenever you are using the adapter class, instead of adapter is a class, right? So your class should extend, okay, it extends, okay, which class? Okay, it's nothing but your adapter class. What's the name of an adapter class? It is mouse. Okay, so here you can see that mouse adapter class. So now whenever you have a mouse adapter class, whichever the methods you don't want to provide the implementation, you can delete that. So for those methods, your mouse adapter will be providing the default implementation. You are not providing in your code, but your mouse adapter will be providing the default implementation for those methods which you have not incorporated in this particular class. Now, so these are the methods which from where I'm expecting the service. So I have overridden the code for only these particular two methods. Only overridden these particular two methods. Okay. So now the other things remains the same. So now actually I'm handling which are the events: mouse entered and mouse exited. So control S. Okay. Control S. Okay. Let us try to execute this. Whether we need to get the same output only for two events we have handled it here. Okay. See here. Now you got it. See, mouse entered, mouse exited. See, click. If I click now, you are not getting. See, I'm clicking here, you are not getting because we have not handled that particular event. Okay. See, okay. See here. Only this event we have handled it. Okay. So now we are getting the service only from entered and exit. We have written only we are getting the service. Only those two events we are able to handle it. Okay. We are able to handle it. Okay, so now let me go back and let me introduce to a concept called as inner class. Now see, for example, here I have only two methods. See here, see this also has some drawback. Here only I have two methods implementation. For two methods implementation, I have a separate Windows adapter class written for that, and also I have written my own user defined class. Now the question is, why a separate mouse adapter class is required and a user defined class is required only for these two methods? Can't we incorporate this part of the code somewhere here in the existing code, and can't we delete this user defined class? Definitely yes, definitely yes. Where can we accommodate? We can accommodate here in this portion of the code. I can accommodate. Okay, so what I'll be doing is, okay, I'll open this, and whatever the code that you do have here, this methods, whatever the code you have provided, control C, I'm going to provide control V. Okay, see now what I'll align this particular thing so that you can understand better. Okay, see here what I'm trying to do is, okay, so this is the opening on once again. So as to make you clear, just align my program properly. Okay, here, and okay, this already I've done it, and this is the closing part for this. And what I need to do is I need to close the other part, that is your G class. I need to close once again. What I'm supposed to do? This one I have closed it. Where I am supposed to do, okay, this I have done it, this I have closed, these two already I have closed it, this I have closed, and this I have closed. Okay, delete this. Delete this. This is not required of this. Delete. Okay, this is for this, and this you have closed, and this is for this, and this is for G this. Okay, see now what we can do is completely I can eliminate this part of the code. So completely I can eliminate this part of the code. So yeah, still the program should work fine. Okay, stop share, go to this, go to this. Okay, so now I'll execute, compile the same program. Okay, I'll compile the same program, and you can see that let me run this particular program. It should provide us the same functionality. Dot say for example Java. Okay, why did I do this? Okay, fine, let me do, I need to run it. Java. Oh, yeah. See, you're getting this. Only these two events we're able to handle. See, the other way of writing the program by making use of the concept of inner class. Okay, see, we are getting the same output as of the previous way, right? Right? Now, what I want to show is just I want to illustrate this particular concept. This way of writing the program is nothing but called as the inner class. So in this example, which is the inner class, see this portion from whatever I have written here till here is nothing but a concept of an inner class. If you make use of an inner class, if you make use of an inner class, then then the number of lines of code will be gradually reduced. Why? Because you're not going to use a separate Windows adapter class. Okay, we are not going to use a separate and now you may expect, ma'am, why is that you here? Not now, it is not you. You're supposed to use your window adapter. You need to create an object for your adapter class. Okay, you need to create an object for your adapter class. So this particular portion is nothing but called as an inner class, so that you can avoid the number of lines of code in the program. You need not create a extra user defined class and extending the Windows adapter class. Okay, having only few number of methods in that, you can completely avoid it, so the number of lines of code can be decreased. So these are the changes we need to make, and this particular portion is nothing but called the concept of your inner class. Okay, so hope so you have understood. Like I have shown you an example how to handle the mouse event. I've written a normal example. So from that I've introduced to you a concept called as how why should we go for Windows adapter class, and from that Windows adapter class how do we write the same program using the concept of inner class for handling the mouse events. So now I think hope so you got a clear picture of how to do